My name is Eliza Micaela B. Perez from the section of BSHM2B, and I am your reporter for today. And for today's discussion, our topic outline is education of the child, parental authority, emancipation of the child, and filial piety. And before we formally start our lesson, let's talk about first what is education. Education is receiving or giving systematic instruction, especially at a school or university. The main purpose of education is to provide the opportunity for acquiring knowledge and skills that enable people to develop their full potential and become a successful member of our society. The first topic of our discussion for today is education of the child. Education of the child refers to the primary responsibility of the parents. Having brought him out onto this world, the parents have to care for the child. Not only that he may survive physically, but that he may find a place for him in the community of persons. Every child has right to education. Each has right to find fruitful and happy life in accordance with his human dignity. The parents are tasked with the duty of educating the child. St. Thomas Aquinas declares that nature intends not merely the generation of the offspring, but also its development and advance to the perfection of man, considered as man, that is, to the state of virtue. Society or the state has a complementary duty to assist the family in education of the child. So, according to this, education of the child plays vital role in order them to have successful life. School helps children to become well-rounded and productive. Without the basic lessons and principles learned from school, like reading, writing, and numeracy, they may not be able to contribute to the society. This affects not only them, but also the country's economic, social, and cultural development. Our next topic is the parental authority. Parental authority is natural and essential for the governance of the family. It is natural because it flows from the responsibility of procreating and educating the offspring. It is essential because without it, the goal of the family would be impossible to attain. The family code provides that the father and the mother shall jointly exercise parental authority over the person of their common children. And such children shall respect and submit themselves to his authority. Parents cannot renounce or transfer such parental authority unless decreed by the law. Parental authority shall include the caring for and rearing for the civic consciousness and efficiency and the development of their moral, mental, and physical characteristics and well-being. On the other hand, parental authority refers to the parents' right and responsibility towards their children from the minute they are born until they turn 18. Under their parental authority, parents make decisions that affect the child's well-being. Parental authority is important because it's shaping a child's personality. Authority is essential not only for a reason that we children had under control, but also that children need to overcome the Oedipus and Electra complex. Parental responsibility means that legal rights, duty, power, responsibilities, and authorities of a parent for a child and child's property. A person who has parental responsibility for a child has right to make decisions about their care and upbringing.
What is parental responsibility? Parental responsibility is a legal term. It refers to the responsibilities and duties that a parent or other person may have for a child's upbringing. Anyone with parental responsibility for a child can make day-to-day decisions about their upbringing, but big decisions that will have an impact on the child's life must be made in agreement with everyone who has parental responsibility for that child. Big decisions might be about the child's medical treatment, school, religion, culture. Parental responsibility is also needed to get access to a child's records, for example from a school or doctor. Where those with parental responsibility disagree on a big decision, they can apply to the family court for a decision. How do I know if I have parental responsibility? More than one person can have it for a child. If a child's parents are married at the time the child is born, or they jointly adopt a child, they will both have parental responsibility. If the child's parents are unmarried, only the mother automatically has it, unless the father's name has been included on the child's birth certificate. A father who is not named on the child's birth certificate may obtain parental responsibility in several different ways, and other people involved in the child's upbringing may also be able to obtain it. If you want to obtain it, you can make a parental responsibility agreement with the others who are involved in bringing up the child. Or you can apply to the family court for a parental responsibility order. This video is for information only and is not intended as legal advice. Further information is available about this topic on this website. If you are unsure about your situation, please seek independent legal advice.
Our third topic is the emancipation of the child. Emancipation of the child is the state of independence from parental authority. Emancipation commences at the age of majority, that is the age of 21 years. Emancipation is also attained when a minor enters marriage. Parents and minors at least 18 years old enters into agreement for such purpose and properly executed through public instrument with a civic registration. So, according to this, emancipation ends the parent's rights to control his or her minor child or to participate in any decision-making about the child. Once a child is emancipated, his or her parents do not have custody or control of him or her anymore. Emancipation is usually forever.
Sometimes it can feel like your parents don't give you enough freedom. Although it probably works the other way too. When can you be free to do whatever you want to do? In countries like the US and Canada, parents generally have care and control of their children until the age of majority. The legal concept of emancipation allows minors before that age to be freed from control of their parents or guardians. In the same way, their parents or guardians are also freed from the responsibility of caring for these minors. There are different ways to achieve emancipation in US, such as through a court process or parents' express permission. An emancipated child is then entitled to make his or her own decisions without the involvement of his or her parents, and will equally not be entitled to any material or financial support. But countries like the UK and Singapore use a different language as regards the legal status of minors. Instead of absolute parental control, the welfare and rights of the minor is emphasized in every circumstance. As such, a child in Singapore would not need to be emancipated for his or her rights or welfare to be legally respected and upheld wherever necessary. And instead of absolute freedom at a certain point, every child would be entitled to an incremental growth in legal rights and responsibilities as he or she gets older, which is calibrated to take into account his or her welfare and best interests. So whether you like it or not, there's no legal mechanism for emancipation of minors in Singapore. Looking at it from another angle, there's also no option for parents to escape their responsibilities towards their children until they're 21 years old. So they can't get away from you either.
The last topic for our today's discussion is filial piety. While human laws provide for the emancipation of the child, the natural moral law perpetually binds children in filial piety. Filial piety derives from the Latin word filius, or son, is the love and devotion which children must profess to their parents. Filial piety is the natural duty of the children. Children are flesh and blood extension of their parents. Their own parents, not only the debt or gratitude, but a sacred obligation of homage. The Decalogue, as the expressed desire of God, exhorts everyone to honor mother and father. Filial piety finds an important place in all human culture. The Confucians make filial piety the supreme virtue from which all others are derived. Respect Loyalty and devotion to the parents is positive traits of the Filipinos. Neglect of the parents, especially in their sickness or old age, is regarded as an act of supreme ingratitude, a criminal act deserving of God punishment. Ang hindi marunong lumingon sa kanyang pinanggalingan ay hindi makakarating sa kanyang paroroonan. Sounds more like a curse than reminder. So, filial piety is not only specifies norms within the family, it also provides social and ethical foundation for maintaining social order, and thus a stable society. It also the children's responsibility towards their parents, the attitude of obedience, devotion, and cares towards one's parents and other family members is the basis of individual moral conduct and social harmony.
The topic of our Turn to Jinsi devotion is filial piety. What is the meaning of filial piety? It means to be good to our parents, to take care of our parents, to engage in good conduct, not just towards our parents, but also in the society, to bring a good name to our parents and ancestors, to show love, respect, and support. Filial piety in Chinese is xiao, which is generated from two words. The one on top is lao, means elders, and the bottom part is zi, means child. This Chinese character means when a child is young, the parents will take care and protect the child. When the child grows up and the parents become old, it is the child who will take care of his parents. The concept of filial piety has been around since ancient times. A Chinese philosopher named Kongzi, Confucius, who is widely considered as one of the most important and influential individuals in human history, also mentioned filial piety in his teaching. As we all know, his teaching and philosophy greatly impacted people around the world and remain influential today. In Qing Dynasty, during the reign of Kangxi Emperor, the book of Di Zi Gui was published by Li Yuxiu. This book is based on the ancient teaching of Confucius that emphasizes the basic attitude for being a good person and guidelines for living in harmony with others. The first chapter of this book is about filial piety. Our parents work hard to provide the needs of our family. They make sure that we always have food to eat, we have proper clothes to wear, a comfortable and safe house to live in, and also the best education for our future. They take care of us when we are sick. They also worry when we are sad and scared. They are always ready to help us whenever we need them. So, what can we do to show them our gratitude? What should we do to let them know that we appreciate them? Simple things like what Confucius said hundreds of years ago. Answer them with respect when they call your name. Do good things they ask you to do. Listen to their advice. Admit your mistakes when you make one, and change yourself to be a better person. Being filial is a legacy and tradition from our ancestors that we should keep and maintain in today's society. Let us recite our Jingsi aphorism for this week. 太阳光大，父母恩大. Parents' grace is great like the sun. It is necessary to realize that parents will always love us and care for us no matter what. Just like the sun that shines on earth without expecting anything in return. With that being said, are you being filial today? See you next week!
Filial love, the love of the child for a parent, a type of love, a strong positive emotion, regard, and affection. According to biblical filial piety, it is the fifth commandment states that one should honor one's mother and father. So, this is the keyword or summary of our today's discussion. First is the education of the child. It provides stability in life and it's something that no one can take away from you. Next is the parental authority. Father and mother shall jointly exercise parental authority over the persons of their common children. Next is the emancipation of the child. It refers to a legal way of children to become adults before they are 18. And lastly, the filial piety. Filial piety includes each person's responsibility to respect their parents, obey them, take care of them as they age, also advise them, and love them. So, in conclusion, education of the child is important to the children because education helps children to learn how to think critically. It enhances their creativity and imagination. Also, parental authority are supportive and often in tune with their children's needs. They guide their kids through open and honest decisions to teach value and reasoning. Furthermore, emancipation of the child means that parents is no longer legally responsible for the acts of the child. It can allow the child to set up his or her own living. And lastly, filial piety. Filial piety is usually taken to mean unconditional love, respect, and obedience from children to parents. And that's all for today's discussion. I hope you learned a lot from our topics. Again, I am Eliza Micaela D. Perez, saying that having somewhere to go is home, having someone to love is family, and having both is a blessing. Thank you!